From her humble beginnings in a small Nebraska town to her meteoric rise to late-night television stardom, Amber Ruffin's story is one of determination, humor, and unwavering determination. But there were many difficulties, setbacks, and tragedies in her life that she had to overcome. She had to overcome a lot in her life, but that's behind her smile and her comedic talent. She has broken the internet with her insightful and funny skits on The Amber Ruffin Show, but she has also overcome unfathomable hardship to get to where she is now in her career. The path that Amber took to become famous was anything but smooth. She had to overcome many obstacles along the way, such as sexism, racism, and the constant battle to be acknowledged in an industry that often disregarded her. Born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, Amber Ruffin has a lifelong fascination with comedy, but there were challenges in her life as well, because she was one of the few children of African origin to grow up in an overwhelmingly white environment. She struggled to find her niche in society. Despite hailing from a working-class family where comedy was not seen as a viable career path, Amber's sharp wit and comic timing shone through from a young age. She was born with a gift for making people laugh, but she didn't always thrive in her social environment. Regardless, Amber persisted in pursuing her dreams, which seemed almost impossible for someone from her background to achieve given the circumstances. Amber moved to Chicago to pursue a career in stand-up comedy after finishing high school. While she was there, she joined the illustrious sketch comedy troupe The Second City, which is famous for its groundbreaking style. During her time here, Amber honed the abilities she needed to succeed in the highly competitive and predominantly white comedy scene. Despite her immense talent, she found it difficult to break through. She had to deal with the usual challenges of working in show business, but being a black woman in an environment where diversity was rare made those struggles feel even heavier. Not everyone could see a role for someone like her in the comedy industry, especially at the highest levels. Amber was not the type to let herself be discouraged easily, even though she experienced rejection, doubt, and hesitation on occasion. Her unique perspective and voice could find an audience in comedy, so she found solace in her work and persisted. As a writer and performer, Amber got her big break when she joined Late Night with Seth Meyers. A major factor in the network's dreary reputation at the time was the dearth of prominent female characters on late-night television. It was immediately noticeable how unique and risk-taking Amber's voice was. She began making sketches that included commentary on gender and ethnicity, and they covered a broad variety of subjects, from politics to pop culture. Her ability to blend comedy with social commentary gave her a unique perspective in an industry that desperately needed more diversity. But there were times when it was complicated. Even when she was one of very few people of color in a room, Amber still had to prove herself time and time again. She could see that if she wanted to be respected by her classmates and have her voice heard among the more seasoned writers around her, she would have to work twice as hard. Through sheer determination, Amber carved out a niche for herself, showing that the late-night genre can grow to include more diverse voices. In contrast, Amber's success was the product of both her professional abilities and the personal tragedies and heartaches she endured at various points in her life. Several loved ones, including friends and family, passed away during her journey, which was a deeply painful experience for her. Despite the stigma associated with sharing personal tragedies, Amber was able to reach a deeper level of connection with her audience by channeling her pain into her work. In her performances, Amber's true brilliance shines through when she manages to combine intense emotion with comedic timing. While entertaining, she also uses her platform to call attention to the struggles of many, particularly African Americans who face systemic racism on a daily basis. Her unflinching courage in tackling taboo subjects gives her even more credibility in an industry that can be so far from grounded in reality. When Amber decided she wanted to start the Amber Ruffin Show, it was a turning point in her career. After years of supporting the entertainment industry, she finally found her niche as a host. She got to show off her wit, personality, and insightful opinions on a wide range of social and political issues during her time on the show, which premiered on Peacock. Being a black woman presented Amber with yet another set of challenges at a late-night location. Being a trailblazer in an industry that had not traditionally accommodated people with her background was one of the obstacles she had to overcome. Making a show that was both fresh and true to her comedic sensibilities was the real challenge. She jumped at the chance to prove herself because she knew her voice was important. Building a performance from scratch was no picnic. That need had to be met by Amber, who had to step out of her comfort zone and take charge, forcing herself to make tough decisions about the performance's direction. Learning how to manage a team, work in tandem with producers, and handle all the many moving parts that go into making a good TV show was an absolute must for her. Amber gracefully and humorously carried herself as a trailblazer in the world of late-night television, knowing full well the weight that came with the title. Her candor and integrity about the show's making won over viewers and cemented her place in entertainment history. Aside from her comedic accomplishments, Amber Ruffin has become an inspiration to young women of color who aspire to careers in show business. Aside from being a hilarious woman, she is also a trailblazer who has broken down barriers that others couldn't. The artwork that Amber has created is a sobering reminder that there is usually a story of hardship, tenacity, and rebellion that precedes every tale of success. Her story shows that it is possible to overcome adversity and achieve one's goals if one is really committed. Some ways in which Amber's impact has been felt include the way she has helped to diversify and include late-night television and the numerous people she has inspired to follow their dreams, no matter how far-fetched they may seem. As we reflect on Amber's journey, it is vital to honor her accomplishments and recognize the significant impact she has had on comedy culture. She has used her platform to challenge cultural norms, confront powerful people with the truth, and build a space where marginalized people, in particular, can have their voices heard. Put another way, Amber Ruffin's role extends far beyond that of a late-night host. Her rise to fame was arduous but monumental, and she leaves an enduring legacy that will motivate people for decades to come. Amber Ruffin's tenure as host of the White House Correspondents' Dinner is coming to an end, effective immediately. April 26th will no longer be the date of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which was previously hosted by Amber Ruffin. Is it possible that another comedian, more sympathetic to this administration, took her place when she was supposed to perform? Could it be Matt Rife? Tony Hinchcliffe? Who is he? Unlike in previous years, there will be zero comedic performances this year due to unforeseen circumstances. Think of it as footloose with comedy instead. On March 29th, the WHCA president, Eugene Daniels, informed the membership via email that the board of directors had decided unanimously not to host a comedy performance this year. Instead of focusing on polarizing politics, we should be honoring our colleagues for their outstanding work and providing opportunities for mentoring and scholarship to the upcoming generation of journalists. This is especially important at this pivotal moment for journalism. Attempting to elicit a response, Vulture has reached out to Ruffin's co-worker. For the first time since 2019, the WHCD did not feature a comic performance following Michelle Wolf's controversial 2018. Politico reports that Ruffin was fired after White House Deputy Chief of Staff Taylor Budge expressed her displeasure with the hiring decision of the White House Communications Agency. President Trump has been the target of Budewich's vehement criticism. According to Budewich, this year's WHCA dinner will be hosted by a second-rate comedian who is previewing the event by calling this administration murderers who want to feel like human beings, but they shouldn't get to feel that way, because you're not. The video clip that accompanied Ruffin's statement included him calling the current political climate bonkers. With Trump's track record of missing all scheduled dinners during his previous administration, it's safe to assume that he won't be present at this one either. The WHCA was gushing over Ruffin's hiring as host for this year, seemingly just yesterday, when it was announced that she was chosen unanimously. Amber was immediately at the top of my list when I began to think about what entertainer would be a perfect fit for the dinner this year. Daniels said in response to the first host announcement on February 4th. She might get a new segment from Seth Meyers called Jokes Amber Can Tell, but not at the White House Correspondents' dinner.